Making sourdough vegan cheddar crackers using nutritional yeast, my sourdough starter, some Baja Gold, the best salt, organic flour. You can do this with any flour you like, and olive oil. And that's it. That's all you need to make crackers. Very simple. Oh, and you probably need a rolling pin, and that'll do it. That's all you need to start making your own crackers. They are so incredibly easy to make. If you're a cracker lover, you should not be buying them in the stores. The homemade stuff is so much better than the store-bought, and you get to control the ingredients in your crackers. So that is really what we're going for. Crackers are often made with really cruddy ingredients, a lot of seed oils and bad flours, enriched flours, and those are things we really just don't want in our diet. Hey Leslie, welcome. Making crackers today. Are you going to make crackers with me? Did you grab the recipe from my stories the other day? It's super, super easy. So this is what I'm making for the farmer's market this coming season. I have decided to switch from making bread and cookies and other stuff to making crackers and charcuterie board stuff and, you know, things that you can put, like I think I'm going to do s'mores kits with homemade marshmallows and homemade graham crackers. And I'm going to do, you know, savory crackers and, oh, my oven has preheated. So you're going to want to start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to take our sourdough starter, and I've got 3 cups of starter here. I probably will end up using the majority of it. I try to use all of my starter every time I use it. So I'll probably do a batch and a half today. I have a get together tonight with some girlfriends of mine. So we're doing a little potluck. I'm making chili, and I'm going to make these crackers for snackies. And yeah, it's going to be super, super fun. So I use my mixer. You don't have to have a mixer to make crackers. They come together really, really easy. And you can substitute, instead of olive oil, you could use avocado oil. You could use softened butter, makes a really yummy cracker. So there's lots of different ways you can modify it. And then on top of this base recipe, you can add toppings. So I have everything bagel seasoning here. I also have sesame seeds in black and white, and I have salt. So you could sprinkle it with your pluck seasoning. You could put, you know, garlic powder. Like the possibilities are endless. You can make it whatever flavor you want. It's so, so easy. So I'm going to start by adding my sourdough starter to my bowl of my mixer. I'm just going to dump the majority of it in here. This recipe calls for 2 cups of sourdough starter. So my sourdough starter is going to be popping this summer because I'm going to need to be feeding a lot of it if I'm going to make enough to sell at the farmer's market. If you don't have one of these wooden stir sticks, I highly recommend them. They're very, very nice. They're my favorite. They're big enough to reach to the bottom of these big jars. They don't bust when you're stirring your sourdough starter. I used to use chopsticks, and I have broken so many chopsticks mixing sourdough starter. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. This thing, so durable. The best. All right. So I did 2.5 cups of 3 cups of sourdough starter in here. So that'll be a recipe and a half of our recipe here. And then it calls for 1.5 cups of flour. So since we're doing 1.5 recipes, we're going to do 2.25 cups of flour. That sounds right. Probably fine. It's really not that precise. Like, you don't have to be crazy precise because it's supposed to be a little dry, so it's not a big deal. So I'm going to do 1 cup, 2 cups. That's probably fine because that was a really full 2 cups. So we're going to go with 2 cups for this. And then I add in the olive oil. So it calls for a 1/2 cup of olive oil, which is fairly a lot. We're going to do 3/4 of a cup since we're doubling by half, double and half. Forgot my measuring cup. So I'm just going to do 3/4 of my cup measure here. So we'll just pour that right on top of the flour. And then 2 teaspoons of salt. So we're just going to go in with a tablespoon of salt because that is 2 teaspoons. 3 teaspoons. There we go. 1 teaspoon. 2 teaspoons. 3 teaspoons. And then this is where we get our cheddar flavor. So this is nutritional yeast flakes. The most important thing to do when you're buying nutritional yeast flakes is make sure you're getting one that is not fortified. Okay. So most nutritional yeast is fortified with B vitamins, but they don't use good quality B vitamins. They use cyanocobalamin and like the lowest quality folic acid and things of that nature. So pick one that is not fortified. It still has a bunch of nutrients in it. I don't know why they feel the need to add synthetic vitamins to it when it already has so many. It's pretty crazy. So this one I get on Amazon. It's the micro ingredients organic, but you have to check for non-fortified, okay? And I like 4 tablespoons per batch of nutritional yeast. So we'll do 6 tablespoons of the nutritional yeast here. 3, 4, 5, 6. If you don't have nutritional yeast, no problem. You could put any herbs or spices you want in here. You could throw Italian spice blend in here. You could put a little garlic and onion powder in here. Like, you have the freedom to add whatever you want. It's basically just 2 tablespoons of dried herbs, or I prefer 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast for mine. So that's easy peasy. And I'm going to add this onto my mixer, and we're just going to mix it until it's all combined. So that's all just added in there. There's no added water. The water is in the sourdough starter. If you don't have a sourdough starter, you don't have to have one. You can do this recipe doing it with 1 cup of water and 1 cup of flour and mix it together to make a paste just like you had a sourdough starter, just to get the right proportions, okay? The fermentation, the flavor, and all that stuff from the sourdough starter is going to be a lot better, but you don't necessarily have to have it to make crackers, okay? And there's a bajillion recipes on the internet on how to make crackers without a sourdough starter. So don't think that just because you don't have an active sourdough starter that you just can't make crackers. You can make crackers without it, okay? This is kneading up nicely. I just want it mixed enough that everything comes off of the wall of my mixer. So we're just giving it a quick twirl here. Turn this off and show you guys. Okay. So that's pretty much combined. I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl a little bit. You don't have to mix it a ton, just get it combined. Now this batch is going to make 5 or 6 trays of crackers. So it's not a small batch for sure. It's got some girth to it. That's a decent sized ball of dough there. So generally speaking, you would want to chill the dough briefly. I'm not going to because we don't have time. So let me grab my slicer here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this into 6 portions for mine. And if you just made a single batch at home, you can go ahead and do 4 portions. Seems to work pretty well. And with this, I'm going to actually put these in the refrigerator while I'm rolling out the first one, just to chill them a little bit. I just kind of roll them into a ball, like so. That one's much bigger than this one. Be fine. We're going to roll it out super, super thin. So if you want your crackers to be crispy, you're going to want it to be thinner. If you want your crackers to be more like fluffy, like a saltine or something like that, you won't roll it quite as thin. You want to do like 1/4 of an inch instead of like paper flat. And then you'll get more of that saltiny texture. It's not going to rise. So at this point, you can take these and you can ferment them in the fridge for 24, 48, even a couple of 72 hours. You could do it for several days in the refrigerator, and they will ferment off, and that will break down the gluten in the flour if you're using a glutinous flour. Now you can make gluten-free sourdough starter and make gluten-free sourdough crackers if you want, if you're not eating gluten. I find that I tolerate sourdough that's made with organic, non-enriched flour great. I don't tolerate store-bought junky flour that it's sprayed with stuff, you know, it's not clean. That I don't handle well. So I don't eat buns at restaurants. I don't eat pizza from restaurants. I make everything at home and I can have all the gluten I want. But if it's from a restaurant or a store, I can't eat it. I get inflammation. My joints start hurting. I can't sleep. I get stomach issues. I actually thought I had arthritis when I was in my 20s. I didn't have arthritis. I just had glyphosate intolerance. So when I got off of all of the processed foods, all my joint pain went away. Pretty powerful. It's exciting. Let me let's make my balls a little more even here. I'm going to grab a little container to stick these in, and I'm going to pop them in the refrigerator real quick. I'm just going to throw them in a Ziploc bag. Yes, I still use Ziploc bags on occasion for things like this. And these are going to go in the fridge just to chill for a little bit while we roll out the first one. So at this point, you're going to want either parchment paper or a silicone mat like so. And this just helps to transfer the crackers from your rolling surface to your pan and to prevent sticking. So I use these sill pats for that. And you're just going to want to start rolling from the center out to the edges. And try to stretch it out to the shape of your pan as best you can. Nice thing about these sill pads is they are the exact size of my cookie sheet, so they fit there perfectly. I know exactly my limiting space here. Oh, I got a dog hair. There we go. Just going to get this super, super thin. Like as thin as you can handle. I like my crackers really crunchy, so I roll them out absolutely as thin as I can. So once you have it roughly the size of your sheet, now you can add toppings. So to this one, I'm going to sprinkle on some of this organic everything bagel seasoning that I got. So this is just dehydrated vegetables, garlic and onion, black and white sesame seeds, Himalayan salt, and organic poppy seeds. This is delicious. You could also just sprinkle it with a little more salt. I definitely recommend adding some salt to the top of the cracker. It just gives it that pop of flavor. So this has salt in it. So we're just going to sprinkle it on to the top. And then what I like to do is I like to take my rolling pin and press them into my cracker and roll it out flatter with that pressed into it. That just kind of keeps the toppings from falling off of your cracker, pushes it down into the dough a little bit. So I just get in here with my rolling pin and roll it out with the toppings in it, and they just kind of push down in there. Because that's my biggest complaint with everything bagel seasoning is like I'll put it on a bagel and then 50% of it falls off. I'm like, oh, it's not a cheap seasoning. It's a waste. It feels like such a waste. Makes me almost want to just like save the stuff on the pan and put it in a separate bag for later. Because it's so disappointing when you lose all of that yummy goodness. Okay. So this is pretty flat. A lot of times I'll end up with like one slightly thicker part. Oh, that ripped. Don't want to rip it. Pinch that back together. It'll be fine if you just kind of press it back together. Okay. Now, if you're a perfectionist, which I've grown out of, I used to be a perfectionist, you could come in with your pizza cutter and cut straight sides for your crackers. If you're a perfectionist. If you're not, don't worry about it. Just let them be rustic, okay? Let's make them a nice rustic cracker. That's my preference. It saves time, it saves energy. Wonderful. So here we are. See how my toppings aren't falling off? That's the best. Now, I have this nifty little cutter. One side does like wavy cut and one side does straight. Kind of handy. And I'm just going to go in. This is the part that I struggle with. I'm like, what shape is the best shape for a cracker? Do we like sticks? Do we like small squares? Do we like fat squares? What is the ideal cracker shape? What do you guys think? What does your perfect cracker look like? Is it like long strips? Tell me in the comments what you think. All right, so I'm gonna do like a 2-inch cracker, kind of a little bit fatter, and I'm gonna use my wavy cutter here. I like to pre-cut them before the oven because once they are in the oven and come back out, you're never gonna get a consistent shape. It's just gonna be crumbles if you try to break it. So at least scoring it to give you an idea of where it's going to be broken would work. But cutting it ahead of time helps a lot. And I've tried all of these things. You like squares? Yeah. I've been asking everyone because I'm working on preparing for the farmer's market this summer. And I'm like, what do people want? What do we like? Okay. I need to know. Inquiring minds would like to know what your favorite cracker is. I'm going to do kind of biggish squares. The thing I like, I think, is I want slightly more cracker than I have cheese. You know what I mean? So like maybe a little bigger than a normal like chunk of cheese from a charcuterie board. It's kind of my favorite. I want just slightly more cracker than cheese. So there we go. Now, these crackers will puff up a little bit if they don't have toppings. The toppings work really well for kind of popping those bubbles inside of the cracker dough as they're raising. It's harder to cut when it's got the everything bagel seasoning in there. It kind of catches on the seeds sometimes. There we go. Okay, our crackers are cut, and now we need a pan. I'm just gonna slide this guy off like so. Dun, 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 onto my pan. See how perfect that fits? Just like that. So if you don't have toppings like this on it, and you don't want your crackers to puff up a bunch, take a fork and just poke each cracker a couple times, and that'll give the steam a place to escape so they don't blow up. Okay, these are going in the oven. I put them in for 7 minutes for the first half, and then I will rotate them and I'll give them another 6 to 10 minutes, depending on how long it's taking to cook. So you kind of have to watch it during the second part just to be safe. You don't want to burn your crackers. I swear I burn one batch of crackers every time I make crackers. So just be prepared for that. So these are going in the oven. And that took 19 minutes to get to that point. So it does not take that long to make the cracker dough. The hardest part of crackers is just rolling it out. That's the hardest part. It's not difficult. So I'm going to get another one out. Get another chunk of dough. And we'll do another flavor. 350. Yes. Bake it at 350. If you go too hot, they are more likely to burn. I've messed with different temperatures, and 350 seems to be perfect. Okay. So get this next piece rolled out. What flavors do you guys think would be yummy on crackers? What's your, would you make a spicy cracker? I feel like tahini would be really yummy on a cracker, or the sesame seeds were super good. A bunch of salt is always just really yummy. I like large amounts of salt on there. Okay. Get this nice and flat. Sometimes they're just kind of amoebas. They're not really square. Yeah, tahini would be good. Tahini would be really good. You could do chili powder or little sprinkle of cayenne might be yummy. The nutritional yeast gives it this cheddar-y taste. So it's almost tastes like kind of like a Cheez-It a little bit. The more you add, the more Cheez-It-y it will taste, obviously. So I landed on the 4 tablespoons. It's kind of that sweet spot for me. But that's totally something you could leave out if you don't have it. It's not a big deal. Do not have to add it at all. I got this recipe from my friend Nourished Baker. She's one of the gals I met at the Weston A. Price conference. She actually gave me a bag of her crackers on the last day of the conference and was like, I wanted to give you these. And so we snacked on them the whole way home. And when we got home, I was like, I need that recipe because they were so delicious. So incredibly delicious. And it totally sparked my plan for the next season. We've been thinking about crackers for a while. And I was like, there's too many sugary treats at my farmer's market. There's a lot of people doing cookies, cakes, and pies, and desserts, and just lots of sweet stuff. So last year I made my sweet stuff, but a lot of it didn't sell that great. So I was like, we're going to switch it up. We're doing something new this year. I'm a kite in the wind. I just go whatever direction makes sense for the farmer's market. I just want to be at the farmer's market. I don't have any particular thing that I'm like, I have to make this thing. All right, so for the sesame seeds, I like to put a fair bit of salt on here first, and then I will sprinkle the sesame seeds over the salt. That extra salt just makes such a world of difference with the flavor. This is the Baja Gold Salt. This is my favorite mineral sea salt. It dissolves really well. It has a fantastic flavor. And they're just really good people over there too, which helps a lot. Okay. It's nice to have a finer salt because it just gets in there. You get more in each bite, I feel like. All right, salted it up. Ooh. Yes. Yeah. Red pepper jelly to sell for the market to go with your charcuterie concept. That would be really yummy. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing like small jars of jams, and I'm going to do chili crisp, I think, a seed oil-free chili crisp, and a variety of cracker flavors, and you can't sell cheese, which I don't make cheese, so that's fine. But like people can buy their own cheese. I'll just do like all the other side things, you know? I love a charcuterie board. That's like one of my favorite things ever. I usually do one for every holiday pretty much. They're just so fun. Okay. Get some of the black and some of the white. Perfect. And then we'll just roll them into our dough. Like so. It looks so pretty. I love the appearance of these. Oh yeah, nut mixes would be cool. We don't have anybody who does nuts, I don't think, anymore at the market. Like, what else goes on charcuterie boards? You could do like, I don't know. I can't do olives. That doesn't make sense. I don't have an olive tree. All right, I'm going to cut the edge off of this just because it's like hanging over the lip a little bit. Great. I'm going to cut the edge off of this one. Let's see, is it thin enough? It's pretty thin. I think we're good. All right, so we're going to cut this one into, I call them strips, I believe is what I like to call it. So I'm just going to cut it into maybe 1/2 inch, like sticks. So, and then I'll cut them again into probably 3 more portions the other way, just to give it that kind of long strip. What's going on? My girl Morgan's here. We're just making some crackers. We already have a batch in the oven. We're on round 2. I have a food dehydrator and a freeze dryer to do dried fruit. Okay. First round is done. Like so. So that's the first part of the bake. We're going to rotate it and put it back in. And let's do, we'll check it. We're going to check it in 6 minutes and see how she do. All right, continue our slicey here. Ideally, I should be making 2 pans at a time and really cranking them out. That's what I have to work toward. I've been trying to like take every opportunity I can to make crackers. I'm like, oh, you're having a party? I'll make crackers. Because I need to practice making it on like a bigger scale, you know? It would be nice to have more practice. All right. So this one's strips, sticks. I've also thought about trying to make like little pretzels. I just know there's such a there's not enough good quality snacky foods out there. Like most of them have junk in them. Even like, do you guys ever get the Simple Mills crackers? Those used to be my favorite. I used to get the Simple Mills crackers all the time. And then I started actually reading labels instead of just looking at the front, where I was like, oh, it says it's gluten-free. It's organic. La, 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 la. Guess what? It's not organic. Simple Mills isn't organic. The almonds that they use in there, not organic almonds. Guess what they spray on almonds? They spray Dicot on almonds. Guess what causes Parkinson's disease? Dicot. So all of these people that are just eating a crap ton of non-organic almonds are going to have major issues. Yes, they have sunflower oil in them. That's why I stopped buying them. That was the main reason. But then, yeah, the non-organic almonds, big issue. That's a problem. And other things like, another example, not a cracker, but the chickpea pasta. You guys ever gotten the chickpea pasta? The Banza pasta? Not organic chickpeas. So those are sprayed with glyphosate. So you're like, oh, it's healthier. It's gluten-free. It's chickpeas. But it's not organic. So it's loaded with glyphosate. So it's like the things like that, like the greenwashing and the stuff like that, where they're just like, oh, it's healthier. It's healthier because it doesn't have gluten. It's not healthier. It's not healthier. It's still full of chemicals. It's not better for you. It's not better for you. And people are like, I don't understand. I'm not getting better. I've been eating gluten-free and I'm still don't feel well. And I'm like, yeah, because you're still eating processed, chemical-laden, store-bought stuff. That's why you're not healing. That's why you're not feeling better. It sucks. It's hard. I went shopping with my clients. Like, I take one-on-one clients, and one of them was local. And I was like, for one of our days, we're going to go to Costco, and we're going to look at all of the ingredients lists while we're at Costco. We're going to go through, and the things you normally buy, we're going to read the ingredients. And she was like, I hate you so much. This is terrible. I can't eat anything anymore. I'm like, I'm sorry. But while we were there, like, I show her the clean options, the things you can have, the things that don't have chemicals, the organic stuff, the stuff that you can swap out. And so it was trying. It was a trying time because she was on a majority processed food diet when we started. So that's definitely a tricky thing. That's why I teach it the way I teach it. Like, when I do one-on-one coaching, I'm literally teaching you how to make everything. Like, we get on a call like this and I will teach you how to make the thing. So it takes the guesswork out of it, but then you have to translate that to the rest of your life too. Like, just starting to make your own crackers is not going to be enough to heal your SIBO, right? You're going to have to remove other things. You're going to have to add in things like stewed apples and meat stock and get rid of the seed oils and get rid of the non-organic grains. So there's like all these different moving parts that need to be put together. And so I'm the person who helps to put that together for their brains. It's fun, but for a lot of people, it's like, oh, they don't realize that everything they're eating is poison. Okay. We're going to slide this onto my tray. Like so. And then this one will go into the oven. See how most of the toppings, there's some toppings that I didn't roll in because they're not on the dough, but they're not falling off. That's why I roll them in. It helps a lot. All right, our crackers. We're going to check our crackers here in just a second. They're almost done. Let me grab my hot pads. Do you guys have any questions? Does this all make sense? It's pretty dang easy. Like, crackers are one of those things that they're just so easy. And you can make them once a week. Like, I'll make crackers on Tuesday and then we'll eat on them the whole week. Just cool. And they stay delicious for multiple, days, other than like sourdough bread. You make sourdough bread, and if you don't eat it within a couple days, if you don't put it in the refrigerator, it will mold. You have to eat it. Okay. So these are not even really that brown yet, so I might put them back in for another 2 minutes. Yeah, you can definitely do a gluten-free adaptation. If you have a gluten-free sourdough starter, I think they're done. I'm going to pour these onto my trays here, my cooling racks, like that. And they will get crispier as they sit. Timer. Okay. So the gluten-free difference would be you make a gluten-free sourdough starter. You can use any starch to make sourdough starter. So you could use rice flour, you could use sorghum, you could use any of those like gluten-free plain flours. I buy them from the fridge section at my local health food store, and you do it just like making a normal sourdough starter. So you just give it flour and water and stir it every day for 3 days, and then you start to feed it. Discard and feed it more flour and water. Discard, feed more flour and water every day for about 12 days until it really starts popping and getting really super bubbly. After that point, you can start using those to make crackers. And then instead of using the organic all-purpose flour, you would just use your rice flour, your sorghum flour, brown rice flour, potato starch. Any of those would work in place of the flour. And they're delicious. I've made those numerous times. I just stopped using my gluten-free sourdough starter. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. Oh, like it just suddenly got a nose tickle. But yeah, if you're 100% gluten-free, highly recommend it. You can also use gluten-free sourdough starter to make pizza crusts. But I never had any success getting gluten-free sourdough starter to raise bread. That never worked out for me. Thank you. I hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. Hope that wasn't too loud. Okay, next chunk of dough. Get my next pad here. Okay, let's roll this guy out. So what do you think? Not too difficult? Pretty easy. And they're so delicious. Ridiculously delicious. My favorite part's always like the brown ends. You really can't beat them. The ones you get from the store are just not, they're not as good. Not as good. And you could use like a fresh milled flour if you want to add a lot more nutrients to this. That would be amazing. So good for you to use fresh milled flour. I just don't happen to have any currently, so. Guys, I'm going to blow my nose real quick. Hold on. Sorry about that, ladies. I'm going to wash my hands again. I wish I had a cameraman who could just follow me around so you guys could see everything I do. No, it's okay. It's okay. You don't need to. I posted the recipe to my stories the other day. I can share it again today with the replay. I'll post the recipe again. You just happened to see me live. Yay! Yeah, I've been talking about it in my stories for a couple of days. And so I posted the recipe in there. But I'll post it again today. When I put the replay up, I'll put the link to the recipe for you. Okay, so we got it about the size of our mat here. What do I want to put on it? What do I want to put on it? Let's just do plain salt for this one. We're just going to sprinkle it on. And then we'll roll it in so it doesn't fall off. My shaker likes to get stuck after a while. I like a lot of salt on there. Like I just ate that one with the everything bagel seasoning and it wasn't quite salty enough for me. More sesame seeds. Okay, that's a good idea. It's nice that it doesn't come out too fast, but ooh, rosemary. That does sound good. I think I have some rosemary. I'll have to look. Rosemary sounds good. Okay. So I have this, I don't know where my rosemary is, but I have freeze-dried chives. I like that idea. Rosemary and olive oil, yeah. I'm going to see. I'm going to look again. I'm pretty sure I bought some. But my spices and herbs are kind of a hot mess right now. Let's see. Aha! I do have rosemary. Okay. Let's do rosemary. We're just going to sprinkle it on the top here. And you could absolutely mix the rosemary in to your dough when you're making it. You could even get it, like, soak it a little bit beforehand to give it more, like, bite to it if it's dried rosemary. I don't have any fresh rosemary, so we're doing dried. Just going to sprinkle it all over the surface. And I already added the salt. So we've got the salt. We've got the rosemary. Like that. Beautimous. We're just going to roll it in. I wish I lived closer. You're my kind of people. Heck yeah, I wish you lived closer too. That would be awesome. Leslie is one of the lucky few who lives close by. She's been to my house before. She's been to my house before. What? This isn't done yet. I have to cook it, baby.
Could I have the bowl?
The bowl? I don't think there's anything in the bowl, but you can have it. Okay, I'm going to rotate this next one. All right. Oh, where's my mitts? Here we are. Okay, here's our halfway mark. Flip it around. We'll give it another 6 minutes. Cool. All right. I think I need a little more rosemary on this edge here. Give me a little more rosemary. And just press that into your dough so it doesn't escape. We don't need any escapade. Yeah, the cracker strips. They're so good. If you're just eating them as like a snacky thing. Love the strips. The best storage to keep crackers crispy is definitely in a glass container. So you could do like a mason jar or like whatever glass Tupperwares you have with an airtight lid. You just want to keep it airtight. And before you store it, make sure you cool it completely. At room temperature, cool it completely, then store it. If you put it away when it's warm at all, you'll get moisture in there and they will lose their crispiness. So just keep that in mind. All right, rosemary crackers, let's do squares. Squares. They make really cute like cutouts too. I have one that's like goldfish crackers. I've used it once, just once so far. But I'm going to try to do some goldfish crackers for the farmer's market. It's just a lot harder than just cutting out a square. It's more effort. You have to like pop them out of the little holes. So that one wasn't my favorite, but it was cute. They were really cute, but they were harder. So again, we have toppings here, so we don't need to stab this with a fork. If you don't have toppings and you don't want your crackers to puff up, you want to stab them with a fork.
Yeah. Wait, are these for later tonight?
Yeah, they're for the party. Make them for the party. Yum, yum. In 2 weeks, we're going to make sourdough waffles, which you can also make as pancakes if you don't have a waffle maker. So that'll be super fun. One of my favorites for sure. And that one you can ferment overnight, which is really nice. My daughter's here wanting to eat all of the excess dough here.
I love dough. Especially sourdough.
You're goofy. So yeah, definitely join me in 2 weeks for that. That's going to be fun.
Is this thyme?
This is rosemary.
Oh.
Rosemary crackers. All right, this one cooled off nearly. We're going to wait till that one gets out of the oven and we'll put this one in. Start rolling out the next one. See, no losing toppings. You roll those suckers in there. That is the trick. Another ball of dough. Okay. Natalie's happy she's got her dough. She's very funny. Okay, we're on a roll. We've got 3 trays going.
Well, actually, you're really on a roll.
I am on a roll. Haha, rolling it out. Okay. Get this going.
Can that one be nutritional yeast?
There's nutritional yeast in it, yeah.
Oh.
There's already nooch in it. That's like one of the main flavors. I tried sprinkling it on the top of it, and adding extra nutritional yeast on top didn't change the flavor, like at all. So I just was like, all right, well, I'm not going to waste my time
Be on a second.
on that.
I'll be a royal taste tester for the waffle stand.
My official taste tester. Hey, Erin. I've considered trying flour from Italy to see if it works for me. Not celiac, but American wheat bothers me. Yeah, you could definitely try flour from Italy. A lot of people have done really well on international flours versus local flours. Yeah, I seem to be fine. As long as it's organic, I'm good to go. And fermenting it helps a lot for me. When I ferment the dough, my digestion is way better. Okay, Natalie says we should do more sesame seeds. So if we're doing more sesame seeds, we should cut it into strips again so that it matches the other sesame seeds we've already done. Salted. It's like the shake weight. Alright. Yeah, the fermentation helps a lot. And make sure it's not enriched flour. Like, I think they still even make organic enriched flour. Get one that doesn't have any enrichment. Or try fresh milling flour. Make sure you get organic wheat berries and grind the grain yourself. That would be another good one to try to see. But if you're not tolerating wheat at all in the US, then you probably have some gut healing work you need to work on too. Working on healing and sealing the gut. Get a nice layer of salt on there. I just want to make sure there's some on every little piece because that's the best part. Yes, organic is super important. There's our sticks. Oh, I just dropped one. Hot. The sample cracker.
Ooh, hot.
I spoke with a number of exhibitors at the Expo West about switching to organic flour on their products. Good. The challenge with gluten-free is that it's not organic. Exactly. Yeah, gut healing is the most important thing. If you're not tolerating things like organic flour, then you probably need to do some major work. Yeah, all the gluten-free products, for the most part, they're like, it's gluten-free, but majority of them are non-organic. And so what they're making that cracker or bread or whatever out of, it's non-organic, it's likely loaded with glyphosate. So that is a big, big, big problem.
What?
So like we've talked about before, we want to make sure that we get this rolled out the majority of the way. And then we'll get the toppings on there, and then we'll finish rolling it out with the toppings to make sure that they are ingrained into our cracker. Sesame seeds, here we go. It's so satisfying to press sesame seeds into a cracker. If I'm being honest, it's like the most satisfying one because they just look so cute. They're just like little bitty seeds. Yeah, Erin says that's a big problem I have with gluten-free product trend. I feel a lot of people think they're organic when they're not. Exactly. Just because it says gluten-free does not mean that it is organic. That is not what that says. It says gluten-free, not organic. If you can find something that's both organic and gluten-free, great. I was talking about the Simple Mills crackers earlier, how they have seed oils in them and they're made out of non-organic almonds, which almonds are sprayed with dicot. Dicot is what causes Parkinson's disease. So you want to avoid non-organic almonds at all costs, basically. Because even soaking and sprouting those almonds is not going to get rid of that dicot.
Delicious.
You love it? She loves it. All right. We're going to make more of the sticks because that's what we already did with the sesame seed crackers. So we're just going to cut them into like 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch strips. I'm not very consistent in my sizing. They make nifty tools where you can like multiple cutters like this together and you can like adjust it to a specific size and have perfect cuts each time. I actually own it, but I haven't used it. Yes. Yep. And Simple Mills uses sunflower oil. Yeah. We don't do Simple Mills. Sunflower oil is particularly bad because they use sunflowers to clean up like bad toxic waste sites. And so a lot of that's in the sunflowers and in the seeds. Oh, okay. So Erin has a list of good organic crackers, sourdough, wheat, not fermented, and gluten-free. So if you guys don't know, the appropriate omnivore in here, that's my friend Erin, and he has a blog and a podcast, and he searches for the best quality products. Ah, snap. Ashley's here. Ashley, I'm making your recipe. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
I'm making your recipe. All right. You're my inspiration, Ashley. I told them about you. I'm drinking coffee still. I should probably stop, but it tastes so good. All right. Cutting it into strips. So yeah, definitely check out Erin's blog for good quality products. Yay, yay! I don't think they can click your link in here, Erin. How could I easily share those? Can you message those links to me and I'll put them in a file or in a Google Doc or something, and I can put those into my stories too. Sound like a plan? That work? Just have like a resource list for good quality products. He's got like the best lists. He's got chips, like tallow chips and beverages and all sorts of stuff. Good collector of high quality store-bought items. Ashley, what is your favorite cracker shape? Yeah, it's annoying that you can't just follow a link from Instagram. That would be nice. You can do it in your stories, but not like in a chat or a comment. Because it would be really nice to be able to send links to people in comments to posts and stuff. Oh, I got one of these that has no sesame seeds on it. Push those in here. Erin, what is your favorite cracker shape? Yeah, go check out his website. Just go poke around. He's got a lot of really good stuff on there. She loves the crackers. Grab another pan and get this ready. Ooh, you guys, I wish you could smell my kitchen right now. I can smell the rosemary. It smells so good. I'm gonna grab another salt pad. I'm gonna try to put 2 in this next round. See if I can crank this out in time before it's ready. You like puzzle-shaped crackers? That's fun. I've never seen puzzle-shaped crackers. Where'd you get those from? All right, here we go. Ooh, these puffed up a little. There's our halfway mark. I'm gonna stick it back in there, rotate it. They smell absolutely fantastic. Timer. We'll do 6 minutes on that. Let's roll out the next one. We're almost done. I only have 1 more ball to go. We're almost there. Yeah, I think the rosemary is going to be really yummy. That was a fantastic idea. I'm going to do 1 more. I'm going to do 1 with just plain salt, and then I'll do 1 more rosemary. Abstract. Cook dough in solid pieces, break into random shapes. You could do that. Yeah, you could do that. The sourdough project. That's how I describe their crackers. Interesting. They look like puzzle pieces. I wonder if they have like a tool that like rolls across and makes it look like puzzle pieces. I've never seen anything like that. That's nifty. Nifty, nifty. That would actually be really fun. I would love to have like a press. Triangle. Yeah, let's try it. Let's do that for the plain salt one I'm going to make next. We'll do triangles. This is so fun. Are you guys having fun? I'm having a great time. I'm really enjoying this. Like a lot. For the plain salt, I think I'm going to do Malden salt just because I like kind of the bigger flakes for the plain salt. I like the smaller flakes with the other toppings, and the bigger flakes for plain. Becoming such a snob. How are we going to make triangles? I guess you would do squares and then cut them in half? Maybe? I don't know. We're going to mess with it. We'll figure it out. All right, we'll get that nice and flat. I love the fancy flakes, so we're just going to sprinkle those. I'll kind of grind them a little bit with my fingers just to reduce some of the really big ones. Some of these flakes are huge. Look how big. It's ginormous. I'm just going to get a nice, even layer. Oh, I think I know how I'll do it. We're going to make triangles for this one. And then I'll just put these out as snacks for the party for tonight. It'll be perfect. All right. So with the big flaky salt, just like with all the other toppings, we're going to roll those suckers into our dough. Helps our salt to not fall off of our crackers. We're not going to lose all our goodness here. Now we press it all the way out to the edges. Get it nice and flat. Beautimous. All right. We're going to try triangle crackers this round. And I think I'm going to make 1 more batch of rosemary crackers because those just, they smell so good. Sourdough crackers are one of the biggest growing subcategories of crackers. I'm predicting it will be major market in 5 years. Great way to introduce people to sourdough for sure. Yeah, rolling the seasoning into the cracker is for sure a game changer. That was like the best thing that I decided to start doing. It helped so much. All right, let's do wavy cut into fat strips, and then we're going to come back through and triangle them. So let's do, these will be thicker strips. And then I'm going to come back in and go at an angle like that, and then go straight across and do an angle, straight across, angle, straight across, angle. How do we do? Yeah, that's a triangle. I'm here for it. Let's do angle, across, angle, across. I have to like think about every single cut now. Squares are so mindless. Yeah, there, that, go. Beautimous. That's how you do. I feel like there's probably an easier way to do this. Like I probably could have gone across this way and then come back through and cut them in half, but that's okay. This is working. Yeah, there's probably a faster way. That's okay. We're good with it. I cannot get over how good that rosemary smells right now. I'm just going to cut these at an angle on the end. All right. Ba-ba-da-ba, the salt's not falling off. That's why we roll it in. Slide this onto the tray. Oh, just in time, you guys. We killed it. All right. Take this out. Woo! Yeah. All right. Let me move these over. You want to get them off your pan fairly quickly, because if you leave them on the hot pan, they'll keep cooking. Timer. All right. Sweet. I do 7 minutes for the first, and then I've been doing 6 minutes for the second. We're almost done. My baking sheets are stainless steel. Yeah. I got a new set of stainless steel cookie sheets for Christmas because I was planning for the farmer's market season, and I realized I probably need 4 cookie sheets and 4 of these Silpats because I want to be able to like make multiple batches at once, and like while the other ones are in the oven, I want to be able to be rolling out the next batch type of thing. So that's what we've been doing. All right, get this rolled out. And I think this last one, I'm going to do the rosemary again. It smells so good. Hi, Joy. You're just catching the tail end here, but I will post the replay of cracker making for you guys, so you can make them along if you want. They're so delicious. So delicious. Okay, for our rosemary, we'll use the fine salt again. Yeah, definitely catch a replay. You can hang out and chit chat, but we'll get the replay up today so you can catch it later. For sure, for sure. All right. I should make a reel at some point about this. It's just hard to make reels when you're like in the fray of making things. I really just need a film crew is what I need. I just need someone that follows me around and films everything I do. That would make social media so much easier if I just had a film crew. What stainless steel sheets do you recommend? Need new ones, don't want coated sheets. I can send you, or if you want to DM me, I'll give you the link to the ones that I got if you want to look at them. They came in a 2-pack. They're nice. They clean up really nice. I was excited about them for sure. Beautiful rosemary. What a great idea. Would have never thought of that. I don't know why. Rosemary is like, I don't think about rosemary much. It's not like one of my go-to spices, you know? And then we roll it into our dough. How goes it over there, Leslie? You got your crackers made? They're doing the thing. Get them, pull it all the way to the corners. Get that rosemary pushed into our dough. Beautiful, beautiful crackers. Just try to push a little bit more to the edge. Is anybody in here a fan of dating shows? I love dating shows. Yes. You didn't know they make stainless steel? Yes. So they distribute the heat really, really well. And they are super durable, easy to clean. I'm a big fan of my stainless steel pans for baking sheets. Anytime I'm replacing like a tin or cookie sheets or anything like that, I try to get stainless steel or cast iron. Not yet, just enjoying watching me do it for sure. Heck yeah, sister. All right. I think I got it as good as I'm going to get it. I'm just going to cut off this little edge here because it's hanging over the ledge a little bit. And then we're going to cut these into fat squares because that's what I did for the other rosemary crackers. I want to taste them. Hi, Sherry. You've worked on some dating shows? So I like to watch dating shows on Netflix. That's my favorite shows. So recently there was a new season of Love is Blind. I really like Love is Blind. It's such a fun show. Surprisingly, first bite, you don't taste the rosemary. But as you chew, the taste of the rosemary comes out more. I wonder if you infused rosemary into the olive oil before you mixed it into your dough and then sprinkled the rosemary on top, you'd get more of like a rosemary forward flavor. Perfectly crispy. My rosemary is not falling off of my cracker. Perfect. Oh, I didn't watch any of those shows. So there's a new one that I just started yesterday. I've already watched all the episodes. It's called Age of Attraction. Have you guys heard of that one? It's brand spanking new. On that show, they got singles who were ranging from the age of 21 to 60, and they put them all on a resort together, dating show, and had them do events and stuff. And they wouldn't let them, nobody got to tell anyone their age until they were committed to each other. And then they had them do a ring ceremony, and then they could tell the other one their age and just see what the age gaps were. And then it's kind of like Love is Blind a little bit, where they put them into the real world and make them meet each other's families and wait for drama to ensue. There's already been a couple breakups. I'm like, oh, it's going to get real. That's why they canceled them. Bummer. All right, we're doing big squares. Oop, I got to rotate. Let me rotate our crackers. Turn off the timer. So when I have two trays going, obviously the shelves are at different levels, so I will turn them and then I also switch their shelves. Here's our halfway point. Looking good. Not too much color on them yet. Rotate our cracker. If you ever have a moment where you're like, oh no, did I rotate this? Just remember, the side you're holding goes to the back. I just had to remind myself. I'm like, did I turn this yet? No, I haven't put them down. So this is the side that was out. You turn that side in. All right, fat crackers. Doing like 2-ish inches for the rosemary crackers. It's nice to have like a slightly different shape for each flavor so you can like know which one's which. Makes it easy. I need to put some of my done crackers into a bowl to cool. Great, there we go. Grab these. This one cooled off. I'm gonna slide this onto a pan and then we'll put those into a bowl. I've just got these little glass Pyrex bowls. When does my market start? My market starts in June, so it's still a little ways away. I'm trying to get my practice in before it comes because it's a lot more crackers than I'm used to making. What do I think of the Synergy kombucha drink? Synergy's okay. That's one of the better brands. I prefer the unflavored ones because the ones that have a flavor are more juice than kombucha generally. So if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get like a plain one. That's your best bet. But as far as kombuchas go, that's one of the better ones you can buy at the store. Okay, we've got our everything bagel crackers here. Just going to kind of keep them in separate bowls. There we go. We're making sourdough crackers. I will post the replay when we get off of the call, so if you want to go back and watch the beginning, you can. I'm basically done at this point. These are the sesame seed. My favorite ones are always the more brown ones. I like the brown crackers more than the white crackers. That's just my preference. So yummy. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that one broke. Yeah, they're super good. Yeah, so those are our sticks with the sesame sticks. Okay. And then we also have rosemary on this one. Here's our rosemary crackers. Yeah, making your own kombucha is always going to be the best, but from the store, the only brand I buy from the store is the Synergy. Yep. Here we go. The rosemary crackers are so good. Oh my gosh. I have to say, that might be my favorite. Ooh, yeah. Small strips for salads is a great idea. I love that idea. Ah, yes. That little punch of crunch. Or even for like topping chili or things like that. So good. All right. As soon as they're cool, you can package them up. You just want to make sure that they are fully cool before you put the lid on. Oh, yeah. You should try it and make it for Easter. That would be a great treat for Easter. I love putting out a charcuterie board for Easter. The crackers are awesome. You should definitely try making them. They're so good. All right. We've got a minute and a half on the ones that are in the oven now. I'm going to feed my sourdough starter. So I'm going to get some water. Awesome. I got my water. And I'm just kind of scrape down the sides a little bit to get the sourdough starter that was left in my jar. You don't need very much sourdough starter to proliferate a heck of a lot more of it. So don't worry about using all of it. As long as there's some stuck to your jar, you're good to go. It will do the thing. I try to get rid of as much of it as possible because you don't want to be feeding large portions of sourdough starter. It's just not worth it. I always feed mine after I make something. I let it rise to peak and I pop it into the refrigerator. And at that point, it's good to go for 2 weeks straight out of the fridge. So you don't have to feed it right away. When you leave it in there longer than that, you'll notice it'll start forming a clear layer or a brown layer of liquid on the top. And that just means that your sourdough starter is hungry, so you'll probably have to feed it before you bake bread or something with it. But if you're making crackers or something that you don't care about rising, you really don't have to worry about it. You could stir it in, you could pour it off, whichever you prefer. All right, let me grab these crackers. All right, here's our salty triangles. Throw this aside. And more sesame sticks. Just make sure you get them off the pan right away so that they don't keep cooking, because they will burn just sitting on the pan if you neglect them. Have I got roots in Ireland? No, I don't actually. I have a lot of European roots, but not any Irish, I don't think. Unfortunately. My husband's got some Irish, but I don't. So you could say I've had a little Irish in me. Such a bad joke. My birthday is coming up. My birthday is the day before St. Patrick's Day. So I like to pretend I'm Irish a little bit, but I'm not Irish, unfortunately. All right. So I like to feed my sourdough starter until it's pretty thick, like hard to stir. That is my ideal texture. I want it to look basically like a mini dough inside of my jar. Just going to add a little more. I had to start using a bigger jar because when you make crackers, you need a lot of discard. Yes, soda bread is typically Irish. Make a delicious sourdough soda bread. Really, really good. There we go. See, it looks like a dough in there. Like it's pretty darn thick. And then I'll just scrape down my stir stick here. Oops. I put a sesame seed in my sourdough starter. All right, I got that out. Here we go. This is fed. So I'm just going to set this aside and we're going to let it rise. And this will fill this jar up. And then once it's full, pop it in the fridge. Oh, that's the wrong lid. What was this lid on? I don't know what this lid was on. Oh, it was on here. Yes, make them. Do you put nutritional yeast in yours, Carrie? They're super good with nutritional yeast. I'll post the replay as soon as I get off and you can make it with me. Yay! I'm glad to see you, Sherry. I know I go live at kind of random intervals. I try to warn you guys. But it varies. I'm testing out different time frames to see when more people can get on. Because I like having a lot more people on here if possible, but I think probably if I did it every week, it would be good. Yeah, watch the replay. At least watch like the first 20 minutes of the replay, because that's when most of the, like I've taught you everything at that point. It only took 20 minutes to get the dough ready and the first one rolled out and everything explained. Natalie, here's some more dough if you want it. Have to say, my favorite topping that we made today, we did everything bagel seasoning, we did rosemary, we did sesame seeds and salt, and we did plain salt. My favorite topping today was the rosemary, and I would have never thought to do it. But we have brilliant viewers in here hanging out with us today with great ideas, which is why I love getting together with you guys so much, because the hive mind is so smart. I'm going to wash my hands one more time. My Band-Aid is falling off of my finger. All right. Yeah. So basically the biggest takeaways from cracker making. Use some sort of base, so like parchment paper or a silicone pad underneath it. Roll it as thin as humanly possible. And then when you're almost fully to the edges, sprinkle your toppings on and then roll the toppings into your cracker dough. That's the best. Ooh, I bet pumpkin seeds would be nice. It would probably make it tricky to cut it. So if I was to do pumpkin seeds, I think I would roll it out, cut it, and then put the pumpkin seeds and kind of like press them into the crackers so they don't fall off. That's probably how I would do it. Because if you put them like just willy-nilly all over the top, it's going to be hard to cut it with your cutter. But absolutely try it. I'm sure it would be really, really good. I'm sure that would be delicious. Other toppings we talked about, like tahini might be really good, or like a chili powder, pluck seasoning with the raw organ meats in it would be fantastic, but that would be one that I would put on after I baked it, so you don't cook your raw organs. But like onion powder, garlic powder, whatever you have on hand. You don't have to have anything crazy, just a fat sprinkling of salt. Whatever you have is great. You don't have to buy anything super specific. Just mess around with it. See what you like. All right, put these in the sink. Okay. We did the thing. How are you guys feeling? Everyone feeling optimistic that they can make their own healthy snacks now? Oh, that's not crunchy yet. It needs to sit longer. Still tastes good. Not crunchy yet. I think the triangles are really cute. I might have to make triangles more. Hungry. For real. It's like about to be my lunchtime and I'm having crackers for lunch. It's fine.
I know, right?
I'm so glad you guys made it. It was such a good time hanging out with you. Catch me in 2 weeks. We're going to make gluten-free, or not gluten-free. We're going to make sourdough waffles. Okay. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I will post on my stories when it's coming up. If you're not already in TMT Tribe, it is a free to join community where I post these replays. I have a calendar that says when I'm making everything. We do live master classes for the free community. So absolutely go join. Oh, where are my hands? There we go. Last cracker's almost done. Oh, the salt one is really good. Here's our halfway mark. Still pretty white. I'm going to turn them around. Give them another 6 minutes. Go from there. I made them before. I love these crackers, but we'll rewatch to follow your recipe. Yeah, do it. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm going to hop off, get on with my day. I will post the replay. I hope you all make your crackers. And if you do, share them on your Instagram and tag me, and I will share them to my stories. Bye, y'all.